Hi, guys. Welcome back to Girl Therapy. I'm your host, Nicole. Thank you so much for joining me after my long absence. I love how I ended the last episode being like, guys, I just feel like I don't have anything else to talk about. Like, I'm plateauing. I have nothing to share. I'm like really happy. And then God was like, oh, I'll give you something to talk about and put me through a Cat 5 hurricane. It's not even a Tuesday, it's a Friday. I honestly didn't even I don't know, something in me was like, I want to talk. I want to talk to them. I want to record. And I'm just going to go off that intuition and just ride that wave because if I feel it, then somebody needs to hear what I have to say. That's usually how I operate. It's like if I feel it and I want to say it, I say it because I know that that was placed in my heart for a reason and in my brain for a reason. So here I am. If you need to hear this episode, if you needed to hear my voice, if you needed to hear whatever is about to come out of my mouth today, I hope that it helps you. And I truly did miss you guys. I knew that I would come back when I was ready. I don't know if I'll keep coming back. I genuinely don't know. I'm just kind of like going with the flow here. But I kind of like recording on a Friday. It's like giving me Friday vibes, like just sitting chatting like the Friday catch up. I mean, if you don't follow me on social media, I mean, you probably do. If you're here, you probably follow me on social media. But let's just say for the sake of it, I ended the last podcast saying I was going to Jamaica. I'm pretty sure I told you guys that. And I was going on a yoga retreat. It was my friend Sydney's yoga retreat. And I guess I'm just going to share with you guys the story of surviving that hurricane that we got trapped in. Everything that happened during that, I guess my mindset now, like the lessons that I've learned, what it's taught me. And let's just kind of like recap that. So we're in Jamaica. We have a flight home for Sunday. I'm just going to jump right into it, by the way. And there had been talks about a hurricane, but I don't know. The Jamaicans are probably not the most reliable news source because they are so chill and calm and they're like, "Yeah, no big deal, man. It's fine." Like so we were kind of like, okay, and I'm somebody who I guess sometimes when bad things, I say quote unquote, like when there's high stress situations, I react very calm. I almost react too calm. I don't know, like part of me shuts down and not in like a bad way. I just always like to be what somebody needs in a situation. And a lot of the times, whether it's like people arguing or something happening, I will be the voice of reason or I will be what that situation needs. And a lot of times when a lot of chaos is happening, the last thing we need is for somebody else to panic. So when this was all happening, I was just like, okay, like realistically, what are our options here? Stay, ride it out. Maybe it passes us like they say it's going to, or try to find a way home. So, of course, once we got news too that it was going to hit us directly, which was not the initial news that the Jamaicans were relaying to us, they were like, oh, yeah, it's probably going to pass us, or if anything, it's coming on Wednesday. So, if you have a flight home Sunday, you're completely fine, which we did. So, then when we got the news one morning that it was the morning before too, that this was going to be hitting us directly, I saw a little bit of panic in Sarika, a little bit, where I was like, oh, this is the first time I've seen a Jamaican be a little bit like worried, you know? Especially because it wasn't like a cat 1, 2, 3, 4. It was a cat 5 directly hitting Montego Bay where we were. And she was like, they're talking about shutting down the airport. But if you still have your flight and you haven't got a cancellation, then it's all good, whatever. As soon as she said that, literally our phones start buzzing. Everybody's flights are getting canceled. And they're shutting down the airport. And we're just like, okay. So the girlies who are a little bit more panicky, which I can't even give them hate for that because like they made a good call for themselves. Had rebooked their flights, moved their flights up, honestly, like under the radar without even discussing with a lot of us, which I get it. Like people didn't want to cause panic in other people. People didn't want to make Sydney feel bad that everyone was wanting to leave, especially because we'd only been there for maybe 2 or 3 days at this point. So, and some of the girls were just being straight up sketchy. I'm just going to say it, but that's fine. And I was obviously like, I'm doing what Sydney does. I'm hanging with Sydney because if she's going to be stuck here, I'm going to be stuck here with her. She's my best friend, like no yoga girl left behind. So Once we kind of saw that everybody was mostly like able to either rebook their flight or get on their flight, we were like, okay, well, let's start looking for flights for us, you know? And me, Sydney, and Carly are the only ones who keep getting turned down. Every single airline is like, no. I'm like, do they hate us? What's going on here? Like, why are we unable to get on a flight? But it seems that everybody keeps getting the last seat on the flight, right? So we're like, all right, we're going to go to the airport with the girls and be in person, beg somebody, see what happens. We go to the airport. We go to every single counter. They say, no, 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 nothing, nothing, not even to Canada. Okay. Not even to London. Like we were really just trying to go anywhere at that point. And we exhausted every single option. I'm talking private planes. I'm talking people who were bringing supplies, who offered to bring us home. Like every single thing fell through. It was like God was like, no, you're staying in Jamaica. You're supposed to be there. And obviously the villa welcomed us back with open arms. And I will say they were amazing about that. They were like, we want you to know that you have a safe place to be. Do not panic. If anything, you come back here, we will take care of you. So we go back to the villa, tail between our legs. We're like, guys, we could not get on a flight. And they're like, it's okay. Like, we got you. We will take care of it. So the days leading up to the hurricane were probably one of the worst days of my life because there was so much anxiety. You could like feel it in the air. There was this stillness. There was this like, this really eerie feeling of feeling like, I'm a perfectly healthy girl. We're all perfectly healthy people. And there's this dark cloud hanging over us that there's something really bad about to happen that we actually can't control and we've never seen before in our lives. And there's no guarantee that we will survive. As much as everyone's saying like, you're going to be okay, you know, the villa people, not the people on TikTok, I'll tell you that much. Everybody on TikTok was like, write your birth date on your arm, write emergency contact on your arm. That one comment that somebody said to me about that, like Sharpieing my information on my arm so that if someone were to find my body or if I were injured, they would know what to do with me or who to call. When I saw that, genuine panic entered my body where I was like, oh, like, wait, like I could actually die. And I've never felt that in my life. I could cry thinking about it because it's such a surreal feeling to feel like there's nothing I can do about this. And I feel like that's probably how a lot of people feel right before they die of like, I'm too empathic for this. God damn it. Where I'm like, I don't know. I hate to like, I don't want to talk about it so negatively, but it's like, there's that feeling of like, I know that something bad is happening to me and I can do nothing about it. And I was in contact with the world, but also so isolated from the world. Like I was still talking to my friends and my family and trying to like think about future plans and this and that. But it's like, wait, these might be people that I'll never speak to again. Like these might be people that I'll never see again. This might be something that I'll never get to do. Or like, I don't know, like it was just like really put things in perspective for me. I like didn't actually expect to get emotional over this. I guess I'm still like processing everything. There was the moment where I was on the phone with my sister and she was checking in and like I actually had avoided telling my friends and my family for a while that we were like in a kind of a serious situation, like because that would make it really real. My mom didn't even know I was in Jamaica. My dad, I mean, I don't know. He doesn't. I don't talk to him. But I talk to my mom. But like, I don't tell her everything. I don't talk to her. I mean, that's something that was put in perspective for me. Like, talk to your family more, Nicole. But I call my mom and I like tell her I'm in Jamaica. Sorry, I'm gonna be going all over the place with this. But she was like, oh, okay. And she thought I was like updating her. She's like, oh, that's nice. Like, and I was like, yeah, okay, but there's also a hurricane and we're stuck here. And she's like, oh. And my mom's also somebody who's a little out of touch. So she's like, "Are you okay?" Like she also wasn't really aware of the severity, and she also knows me. And like honestly, I've gotten a lot softer over the years. But my fam knows me as this. My fam? Did I say my fam? My family knows me as somebody who is very strong, and they don't see the emotional side of me. And I'm literally one of the most emotional people. But for some reason, I always had to be really strong for my family. Not for some reason, actually, because of my childhood, I always had to be very strong. And I always put on a very strong front. And I'm this like person who can't be told what to do. And I, am independent, and I always like figure things out, and I don't need help of anybody. That's kind of like what my family thinks of me. And it's how my mom thinks of me. And I am like that, but I also am just a girl at the end of the day. Like I also have my struggles. I also like not panic, but I also, need help sometimes. And my mom, I guess initially like was like, oh, "Okay, well, you'll figure it out, right? Like you'll get through it, whatever it is." And it wasn't until I put her in a group chat with the other moms and started sending her passports and telling them the game plans and this and that she was like, "Wait, I'm actually worried now." Like she was like, "You always get yourself out of everything. And I know you're so strong, but you're scaring me now." And I'm like, "Well, I'm scared, if I'm being honest." Like, yeah, I don't think I've ever said that in my life, like to my mom, where I'm like, "I'm genuinely scared." And like, you can't help me. Nobody can help me. And nobody's here. So nobody really knows what's going on. And it was this moment where I was like, I need to like talk to people and tell people what's going on. Like, I need to call my friends who I kind of was giving really simple answers to. If they're like, "Are you okay?" I'd be like, "Yeah, we're okay. We're in Jamaica, LOL. Like, we're stuck." Like, and then I call my friend Haley, and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, she was at work, and I just called her out of the blue, and I was like, "I mean, no, not really. Like, I'm actually starting to feel really anxious and scared now. And like, this is what's going on." And she was like, "Oh my God." And my heart, like, I've never like felt this. I haven't had this amount of anxiety in a really long time, where like there were moments where I thought like I was going to have a heart attack. Like, because just stirring in my thoughts of like everything that was about to happen would cause me so much stress on my body. And I was talking on the phone with my sister, and my sister is very emotional. And there was one moment where like I don't think my sister has ever really seen me cry like that, but like I'm just talking to her, and I'm like, "I don't know, Lindsay, like I feel like I like might die." And I was like, she starts like crying, trying to be strong. She's like, "No, like, you're gonna be okay." And I'm like, "That's nice to hear, but like nobody knows that." Like, and I started thinking about all the things, like not even if we get out of the hurricane, or like what if like we're outside and we get hit by a branch? Like what if after we have no power, electricity, and people are really desperate and they come up to the villa and somebody murders us and we have no contact, like we have no service. There's so many things that could happen. And I'm not an anxiety, panicky person like that, but I was in these moments and these days leading up to the hurricane, during the hurricane, and after the hurricane. And I was like on the phone with my sister and brother-in-law, and I'm just like bawling my eyes out, because I just was like, life is so out of your control, like, and it just felt so weird being such like a healthy, aware person and being able to talk to people right now, and then also not knowing like what's next, and feeling like my family is all the way over there and I'm here, and they must feel awful knowing they can't do anything to help me. But I'm like scared for my life. And I like showed my brother-in-law. He was like, my brother-in-law again is like trying to rein it back in. He's like, "You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Show me the house." Like he's very logical, like a man. Like show me the home, show me the options, show me this, show me that. So I'm FaceTiming him. I'm showing him the house, and like I'm like crawling my eyes out, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, that roof's gone." And he was kind of the first person to be like, "Yeah, no, like that's that house is gone. Where everybody else had kind of been like pussyfooting around. Is that a word? Is that a thing? Pussyfooting? Everybody else had kind of been like tiptoeing around the obvious, especially the Jamaicans, downplaying everything. Like, oh yeah, no, you guys can literally watch the hurricane. You can stay in the bedroom and watch it. You'll be fine. No one was like, yeah, that roof is like gone. You know, they would be like, we don't want the roof to be gone. We'd be like, Jermaine, is the roof gonna fall off? And he's like, I don't want the roof to fly off. And we're just like, well, neither do I, but is it? He's like, I don't know. I hope not. He's like, maybe. And it's just like, no one gave us that solid answer. Like, oh yeah, that's, you know, except for my brother-in-law. He's like, yeah, that's gone. And I'm like, fuck. Like, okay, now I'm really panicking. But it was like this moment of comic relief where I'm like, okay, like you're the only one who's been real with me about this. But in these situations, like you do have to be real and you do have to be super prepared, which is what I think everybody in my comments was trying to do, was like be very practical, real, and make sure that we were prepared. But people were also causing a lot of panic where it was like, I was showing all these, like we had 3 options of where we could stay. The master closet, which was Cat 5, the cellar, the wine cellar, or the staff quarters. The safest place was the cellar, they were saying, especially noise wise. So, like, least amount of trauma. But I would like show TikTok the cellar, and they'd be like, those glass bottles are gonna fall on your head, blah, 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 blah. Like, you don't choose the place that has all the glass in it. And we're just like, well, like, it was just so much outside noise and comments of people just saying, like, this is gonna be a really bad this is the beginning of a really bad documentary. Like, I'm having goosebumps watching all these. Like, I really am praying for you girls. Like, the amount of prayers we probably had on us, I am so thankful for. Like, the people who were truly invested, everyone was like, where's Nikki? Where are the yoga girls? Like, seeing the comments was like really heartwarming, but also really scary, because I was thinking like one of these posts might be my last post. And like, imagine that, like how like creepy that is, you know? And then by the time that the hurricane came, so the plan was to stay in the staff quarters as long as possible and then go to the cellar. The cellar was going to be safest for the way that the winds were coming at us. And I guess the driest, because the master closet was safe, but it was most likely going to get flooded, they said. And it did. But we were like, we'll stay in the staff quarters because there's a bathroom, there's a bed, there's more space. You know, it's like a home. It's a mini home. We'll stay there as long as possible, and then we'll go to the cellar. So the night of the hurricane is coming, we're just getting like the outskirts of it. So it's kind of crazy, but it started like, I think it was like 10 or 11 p.m. It starts raining and getting windy. Me, Sydney, and Carly are sitting in our room in the staff quarter, like in this like little sardines in this little bed. They put zinc on the 2 windows that were in there, but we looked at it and we were like, this is not safe. Like, we're literally outside. We can hear everything. It starts getting windy and raining, and we're like, fuck, like this is like not even the hurricane, and we're scared. And like, this is loud and scary. So Jermaine came into our room, and he was like, it was literally 10 minutes maybe into this. And he was like, we're making the call to go to the cellar right now. And we were like, okay. We trusted him, and it was smart because, I mean, it would have been a really rough night. It would have been really a rough night. We would have been okay down there, but it would have been rough. And who knows the status of the village, because the hurricane wasn't coming until the next morning at 9 a.m., they were saying. So we could have slept there and been okay during the night, but then there's no guarantee of what the villa would have looked like in the morning and what the weather would have been like. It's not like it would be birds chirping, sunny. It might not be as intense. It might wind down before it actually comes and hits us, but it's like, our tree's gonna be down. Is it gonna be safe? Is it gonna, you know, whatever. So he was like, we're gonna go right now. So we were like, okay. We pack everything up. We take our last pee in the bathroom. He opens the door. He's like, go, go, go. We sprint out, because then now it's like it's still raining and really windy at this point. So we're running and there's already trees down right in front of us. We're like, oh my God. At this point, we didn't even really know Kiki. Like Kiki was just starting to open up to us too. She was like our little daughter, Kiki. And she's like, we're like running together. And Carly's like light years ahead with her flashlight, like completely forgot about us, abandoned us. Kiki drops her charger. We're like, turn around, get the charger. Like literally like a movie scene, guys. And we run to the cellar. The villa already looks like a mess outside. I can't believe like the destruction. You know, it's all just the loose stuff that's whatever is just coming down. There's shit flying everywhere. I was like, this is when I die. This is when I get whacked, you know? And it's like, it's not even just like, oh, if I die, it's like if I break something or something scratches me or I get a wound or a gash, what if I bleed out because I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere? No one can access us. Who even knows what the medical stuff is like around here? And an infection, like there are so many things going through my head where I'm just like, I need to not break skin on anything. I need to like stay away from anything. So we get to the cellar. Carly's like hyperventilating, about to throw up from like the panic, the anxiety, the adrenaline from that run to the cellar. We get inside and I feel calm at this point because I'm like, okay, like we're in the cellar. We're going to stay here. We don't have to leave anymore. So we're just in it now. And me, Kiki play games that night. I'm trying to like keep the mood as light as possible and like calm myself down because I am afraid that if I don't calm myself down, I will have a heart attack and then we'll have a problem. So I was really just like breathing, trying to focus on other things. There are points where I put in my headphones and just listen to music, listen to like playlists and just like try to think about happy thoughts in the future because what else could I do? I was like, you know, my friends and family were checking in. We were all talking as much as we could. We slept there that night. And then the next morning, the hurricane was supposed to come at 9, but then it had pushed to like 11. We have a semi-normal-ish morning. It's still hurricaning out, but it's not like the hurricane hasn't hit us yet, which is terrifying. But Jermaine like makes us breakfast. He like went all the way to the kitchen too. Like, I think the roof was already off in the kitchen at that point. But like he goes to the kitchen, he makes us eggs, cabbage, brings it back, coffee, other things. I'm like, guys, I can't have coffee. We're literally stuck in this fucking cellar with no bathroom. You think I'm having a coffee? You're out of your mind. Carly and Sydney have a coffee. I'm like, you guys are crazy for that. I'm texting people. I still kind of have service. And then the scariest moment had to be when the hurricane hit us. And it happened so instantaneously where shit just hit the fan so fast. And we lost service, like snap of the fingers, disconnected from the world. It probably had to be worse for everybody else because the internet and our families didn't hear from us for like 30 hours, which I can imagine how horrible. Like not knowing what's happening to us and just watching the radar and seeing the storm slowly pass over us and then hover there for hours and hours and hours. Like that was really fucked up of Melissa to just like be like, hey, I'm just gonna hang out for a minute. It was from 11 to 4 p.m. that we were in the thick of it, and it was truly horrifying. I thought that it was never going to end. The pressure on our ears, the noise eventually kind of became like background noise. It became like the new normal. But the ears popping, and then when the guys would open the door or the door opened itself, because there were two doors. There was like the initial door, then there was a door to the left that was like the second door to get into the cellar. So the doors though were just like wood. You know, they were not special at all. They were paneled. You could like air can come through them. The first door busted open. They had to barricade it with some big, I don't know, whatever. And then they had to barricade the second door with their bodies at one point when it was really, really bad. And they were so calm and good about not telling us what was going on. But when we would hear stuff chatter and this and that happening and the door flying open and them barricading it with our bodies. Like, we could see that. We were like, oh, that's when we were like, wait, like, this isn't fun. Like if this keeps up, I don't know how long we'll like be able to fight this storm off for, because the second too something gets in here, a fucking branch that like, we're done. Like if a branch fucking flies in here at 200 miles an hour, I'm fucking done. It was crazy though. Like at around 4, it went like pretty quiet and we had no service or anything, which was scary because we didn't know what was going on. We couldn't contact anybody. We couldn't even look at the radar. We couldn't know if we were in the eye of the storm, if it had passed. Like, we didn't know anything that was going on. We had no idea. We were literally in the dark. So they were like, we'll just wait it out and see. And it was still hurricaning, but it wasn't as bad. And it's so crazy the difference between like a Cat 3 and a Cat 5. Like, I would say it was probably like Cat 3 at this point. And I was like, oh, this is a walk in the park. Like, I could chill. We're chilling with the Cat 5, with the Cat 3. Like, let me watch this thing. Let me get outside for a minute, get some air. Not being able to have fresh air for 36 hours, like, really was like, oh, there was like, it came to the end where we were just like, we need to get the fuck out of here. Like, it's hot. We've been wearing the same clothes. We haven't eaten a meal. I'm like getting claustrophobic. Kiki's peeing in the bucket. Like, I like need to get out of here. Like, I like can't believe that this is the reality. Like, there are moments where we're like, wait, what is happening right now? And even now I have moments where I'm like, what fucking happened, you know? So the next morning, they let us go at like 7 a.m. They were like, okay, we can leave now because it's bright out. Like, we could have, no, we couldn't have, because after the hurricane, it was like 5 or 6 p.m. when they were like, okay, I think we're safe now. But it had gotten dark at this point. There were trees down right in front of where we were staying. So it would have been dangerous for us to walk through that, slip, maybe fall. It's like, at this point, we made it. Let's not risk it now and like die post hurricane. And we didn't know what any of the villas looked like, so it's not even guaranteed that we would have a place to sleep. The driest and safest place was still the cellar. So although it sucked to stay in the cellar another night, we did it because it was the smartest thing to do. So the next morning when it was bright out, we were able to go outside and kind of see the damage. We stepped outside and it was like truly like nothing mattered, because it was like we were alive. Like, we were okay. Everyone was okay. We survived it. Now it was like, okay, next step is now going to be cleaning up the villa as much as we can and then figuring out when and how we can get out of here and if we have service. Also, when we were in the cellar, like right after the hurricane, Carly turned on her phone for 1 second just to see, and she had service for 30 seconds. I do not know how. In that time, her dad had called her. He must have been calling her nonstop just to like see. And one of the calls actually came through and she was able to answer it. And he was like, call. And we like hear his like thick Italian New York accent through the phone. We're like cracking up. It's not even on speaker. He's just so loud. And she's like, we're okay, Dad, we're okay. And then he was able to obviously communicate to everybody that we were okay. But then it wasn't until the next morning when we turned on our phones that Sydney got a little bit of service too, and she was able to call her mom. And then, yeah, and then we had like a small little bar. We came out, you know, everything's fucked. Every plan that we had in place, fucked. Our water that we had, gone. The pipes had bursted. We didn't have any fresh water. There are also no tubs in the villa. So all of the well water that they had for us, gone. Generator, broken. No electricity, obviously. And our link, what is it? It's our Wi-Fi. There's a special Wi-Fi that doesn't rely on electricity. I forget what it's called now. The Starlink blew off. So we were like, okay, so every precaution we had taken is just fucked. And we get to the villa, we're walking around. The villas are flooded. They have no roofs. We're doing a check on all of them. I think there was the main house that ended up being safe, and the guest, or one of the villas was safe, and then the master bedroom was safe, but the living room of the master was not. Like, that had been completely blown open. So we only had one place to stay, which was the one safe villa. And out of like the 8 or the 9 that they have, I forget how many that they had. So that's not really a good ratio. But I remember the next morning we all came out and it was just like, oh, like we could just breathe. We sat down Jermaine was like, let's make something to eat. We had oatmeal. He was like, let's just have a warm meal and just relax. We had oatmeal and coffee. And then it was like, okay, what can we do? He was like, let's go check on the neighbors. Me and him, he gave me a machete. We went down because we had to walk down the driveway. It's like over a mile long and it's just trees, 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 trees. Checking in on everybody. How are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Thankfully, everybody on the street was safe, but everybody's homes were pretty much destroyed. Ours well, the one below us was all glass. So that one, just imagine. Ours, though, being at the top of the hill ended up being really bad because that ended up being the worst place to be. There was debate about if the hill was safer or better or not, and it ended up not. It ended up being not. So yeah. But yeah, we went all the way down to the town, so I was able to kind of see what that all looked like. People were out and about, just trying to help one another. The bar was open. People were like drinking, smoking. People were just chilling. It's like, we don't have anything right now. We can't do anything. We have to wait for resources to start coming in. We did get a couple guys to come up to bring their chainsaws to kind of start clearing a path for us. So that day was just kind of spent helping as much as we could and cleaning as much as we could. Also, we're still in our outfits that we've been in for 36 hours, no shower. Like, we were like truly disgusting. Like, we would just be like, wow, like we smell. Like, we smell. And we also can't talk to anybody. And we're just in Jamaica. Like, it was just like surreal. It would take me literally 5 to 6 hours to upload one TikTok. I'm not even kidding. I would have my phone, like the dedication to making sure that everybody knew what was going on. And for me to also, I was also being strategic about it because it's like my videos were popping off. Like I had gained like almost 300K followers in a couple days, 2 days maybe. So I had prayed and begged to God when I was in that cellar that I would do everything I can in my willpower to help these people of Jamaica if he helps me get out safe. I was pleading with him because I was like, there's no way that you're putting me in this situation for no good to come out of it. Like, what good would happen if I just fucking died? Like, there's no good in that. So I was like, God, if you get me out of this situation, you keep us safe, I will do everything that I can in my power to help Jamaica and to give back to these people. I will give them everything that I have. And I was like, I need to keep posting because one, it's bringing more awareness. Two, I obviously am making money from the creator fund that I can donate. And three, the more viewers, the more followers that I have, the more I can raise if I create a GoFundMe, which I did. I was like trying to say it and post and make sure to keep up with that while also trying to be present and helpful in Jamaica. We were in the best case scenario because we were in a private villa. It was just us. We weren't in these big hotels that were charging us to stay, that we were, sandwiched with a bunch of people. We were getting taken care of. Like, they were attending to us and they were like family. They are family. They, like, the bond that we created with these people because of this situation, but also just like, it was just us. They were bringing their families over. We had Kiki. Like, we had these people who trusted us with their kids, with entertaining their kids, with their livelihoods. We were all in it together. There's nothing that'll bond you more than like a near-death experience. And with having no resources, it was like we weren't on our phones. There was no electricity. Like, everybody was in each other's business. I would know if everybody was going to go take a shit. Like, I'll know if you're taking a shit because you're taking the bucket with you. Like, the bucket became the funny thing, like the bucket. We became so grateful for the little things in life and the little joys and finding happiness wherever we can, whether it was just taking dance breaks and listening to music, playing Twister, playing Go Fish, playing Uno. I can't even tell you how many games of Uno I played. Playing BS, like teaching them American games and them teaching us Jamaican games, like braiding our hair, making bracelets, making rings, making, like, just getting a glimpse into their childhood too, like things that I used to make when I was a kid compared to like things that they make, and it was really beautiful to be involved in their culture like that and their lives like that. And they were making us Jamaican food. They were making us like staples in their diet, snacks that they have. It was really such a humbling and beautiful and wholesome experience at the end of the day. It ended up being some of the best moments and memories I could have ever created in Jamaica. And I wouldn't want to take back that experience for anything. I went for a yoga retreat and I got something so much better. And it's not something that you could plan. It's not something that, I don't know, you could recreate. Like it was truly a once in a lifetime, hopefully, experience. It made me so much more grateful. The joy of when they told us one night we would each get our own bucket of fresh water to take a shower. Like, I've never been so fucking happy. We were like, we each get a bucket. Like, we each get a bucket of fresh water. Like, you're fucking lying. Like, you don't realize how blessed you are until you're in these situations. And it sucks that it takes everything, these extremes and everything being taken away from you to realize that sometimes, but it does take that, you know? It does take sometimes, like, even in like everything takes an extreme to realize what you have, whether it's losing somebody, whether it's someone, you know, breaking up with you, leaving you, somebody physically dying, for you to realize like how much you love that person, or how much that person really impacted you, or how much you really value life, or how short life is. Like, it made me realize like just how precious life is and short life is, and everything can change in an instant. And being grateful for your shower, hot water, a fridge full of food, clothes on your back. Like, we were giving the workers and the kids like things that we have, like these little like essential oils, skincare. Like, Sydney had all this stuff that was supposed to be given to the people who came on the yoga retreat. And it's stuff that you would maybe give somebody and they'd be like, oh, nice, cool. And they maybe use it once or twice, or maybe they'd really like it, but it's a different appreciation when you give it to somebody who's never had that before, has never seen that before. Like, they were obsessed with the vitamin C oil. Like, every morning they'd be like putting on their vitamin C oil. Like, then I go do skincare. Like, we gave them essential oils and they loved them. Like, they're just so grateful for everything that you give them. And they take such meticulous care of everything because they don't have a lot. And that's the reality of it, you know, and we have so much, and we collect, and we have this scarcity mindset when it's like, there's so much abundance around us. It feels so good to give. It's what I've always known that I love giving, but to be able to give them this GoFundMe money and be like, this is for you to rebuild your home and change your lives. Like, the fact that we were able, and you guys were able to help me raise that much money to actually change people's lives directly is probably one of my biggest accomplishments and achievements, and something I'm most proud of is you guys in my community, and being able to make a bad situation, I guess, good. And I can't even believe the amount of comments I was getting of people being like, thank you for appreciating our culture. Thank you for, you know, even they were saying like, you know, the right people were here because you could have made us look really bad. And I'm like, how? But there's people who are like that. There are Americans who were like being ungrateful, being like, oh, I can't believe I didn't get a 5-star meal, or I can't believe that we've had this, that, and that one. Like, people complaining about all these things when it's nobody's fault. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, how can you not see that we're all just human, and we're all just trying to take care of ourselves and one another and do what we can with what we have. And people are so entitled. And I just like, I couldn't believe like that was happening, you know, where people were literally risking their lives to keep us safe, and we're in their country and people are going to complain. I just can't believe that was happening. Like, I'm disgusted. I wish that I could help every single person, you know. It was this really conflicting feeling of being like, I want to be here to help and do what I can, but I also really want to go home. Like, now it's like, I really want to go home. I want to be in my bed. I want to talk to my friends and my family. I want to feel like, you know, safe. We had one false alarm where they were like, okay, you have to get to the airport right now. Go, go, go. And we like packed up in 5 seconds, and everyone was like, whoa, like, we're not ready. I haven't even told them about to GoFundMe yet. Like, and we all are like bawling our eyes out, crying. And then it was like, psych, never mind, you guys are staying. And it was this weird feeling of like, we weren't ready to go yet. Like, there was still like, we needed one more day, and like, God knew that. And we had one more day after that. And it was really bittersweet saying goodbye. Partially, it was like, we do want to get out of their hair because they need to focus on themselves. Like they're still taking care of us. As much as we were like, guys, we're literally family now. Please don't set the table. Like we will help you. Like they were giving us tasks finally. They were like, okay, fine, you guys can help. And we're like, thank God. Like, because we just started doing it on our own. We're like, if you don't tell us, we're just gonna start doing. So we want to get out of their hair because we're also using their resources. Like they're running out of water. You know, we're eating the food. It's 3+ more mouths. We don't want them to feel worried about us. So there was part of us that like had to go. And then there was a part of us that wanted to stay. And leaving was such a strange feeling of like leaving them behind. Like I truly felt like I was leaving them behind to be like, oh, now it's your mess to clean up, you know? Yeah, we got the experience and now we're getting all the benefits of the experience and we just get to go home to our comfortable lives. Like they are so empathic, like they are so loving and kind. And it's like, we share that trauma bond. We share exactly what just happened. They know what just happened. They just went through it with us. Like they understand. I don't know, when you see stuff like that, you become such a more giving, kind, empathic, caring person because it's not about you. It's about the whole country. It's about how can we help people? It's people sharing and taking care of one another. And then you come back to America and it's greedy people who don't feel like they have enough and they want more and they're in competition. And they also are so out of touch with what they have, especially in Miami. It's like people are going to dinners that could pay these people's rent for a year or their salary. It's like people are spending money on things that they don't need and these people could actually use. I don't know. It's just like, it made me, like I was like, like I don't even like live like it made me disgusted in so many people. And then also just how out of touch everybody is with what's going on in the rest of the world. People just like, I remember I got in my elevator as soon as I got off the plane. Or as soon as I got dropped off to my apartment, I get in the elevator and it was so weird because it was the first time, one, I'd been alone in like literally 2 weeks. And I was like, whoa, like this is weird. Two, I'm back in America. Nobody knows what just happened to me, right? People are like, hey, how are you? Hey, good morning. When I walk into my building, hey. And I'm like, hi. And then, you know, I get into my elevator and one of the guys who lives in my building who always talks to me, he was like, happens to get in the elevator with me. And he's like, oh, like, you just getting back from a trip? And I was like, yeah. He's like, where? And I was like, Jamaica. He's like, oh, okay, nice. Like, so fun. And he's like, wait, was there hurricane season, right? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, how was that? Were you there? And I was like, yep. And he was like, oh my God, crazy, cool braids. And I was like, thanks. Like it literally set, like when someone mentioned hurricane, my heart wanted to like fucking come out of my chest. It was full blown panic attack. Like I hadn't processed, I hadn't felt safe enough to like break down yet. I hadn't been alone. I hadn't talked to anybody who didn't know exactly what I just experienced and felt so like cold, you know? And like I got into my apartment, closed the door, collapsed, and just started hysterically crying for like probably 30 minutes. And I was like, I just can't believe that just happened. And like, I can't believe that I'm here. And I can't believe like that nobody here cares or knows what's going on. And like, I feel so guilty that I'm home and I feel guilty that I have a shower and I feel guilty that I left them and I feel like just horrible. And I cried for days and like, it was one of those times where like, I am so happy and independent and like, I know I could get through anything, but it was one of those times where I was like, wow, I wish I had somebody right now, you know, like sometimes I'm just like, I'm so tired of having to be strong. Like, I like, am so tired of like going through this shit like alone, you know, like I was just like it was the first time where I was just kind of like, I don't know what to do. And like, I'm struggling. And like, I just want someone to hug me, you know, like I was like, I felt really helpless and like alone. I was just like hurting and I didn't really know how to help myself because I'd never been in a situation like this like trauma, you know, like this, like, I don't know. I've never felt feelings like that before where I was like, I don't know what to do. And I'm triggered and I'm having panic attacks and like, I feel really angry. I can't even tell you the last time I felt that angry, like mad at the world. Like it felt like I was an angsty teenager and I'm mad at the world. Like, and I was like, I don't know how to handle all these emotions. And I really just want someone to make me feel safe, Yeah, it was just weird. And then it was weird. I couldn't like focus on anything. I went to a yoga thing like 2 days later, I think. I hadn't like worked out or anything, and like I was barely eating. And my friend was hosting a yoga thing, and he was like, "Do you want to come?" And I was like, "Okay, well, me, Sydney, and Carly are gonna go. At least I'll have my girls, and like we'll be good. If anything, I could just hang with them." And I had people coming up to me and talking to me, and like I couldn't hold a conversation, and I didn't want to, and I didn't even want to be like polite. Like I couldn't fake it. I was like dissociating. I didn't know what to say when people like asked me questions. And then people were like telling me about shit that was happening in their lives. And I was like, I genuinely don't care. Like, I was like, how dare you? How dare you complain about that? Like, I like hated talking to anybody. And I know that's not fair. Everyone's entitled to like their stuff. But I was like, you don't even know what you have. And like, you don't even know, like, you should just be grateful that you're alive, like, and breathing and have so much going for you. There's people who don't even know if their families are safe right now. There's people who haven't talked to their friends and family for days, and they don't have electricity or running water or access to medicine or anything. And yeah, I was just like, oh, like this was too soon. And then I had another mental breakdown. Sydney had a breakdown. We were at the yoga thing. We're both like in fetal position, hugging each other. People have no idea what's going on. They're probably like these weirdos. But that was our reality. It was really weird coming back and adapting to normal life, because it's like, how do you go about normal life now? Knowing what's going on there, knowing what just happened to us. Like, how do I go resume as if nothing happens? Like, life truly does just go on. It was really weird to think, like, if I had died, like nothing would have changed. Life just goes on. Like, of course people would care, I think. I hope. But like, I don't know. It was just like, wow, like life truly goes on, and we have to make the most of it. And we have to tell people that we love them, and we have to show up for people. And that's really, at the end of the day, all that matters is like community and love. It all comes down to love. And it all comes down to being there for one another. And it was really interesting to see the people who reached out to me and the people who didn't. That was very eye-opening. I don't know, like I haven't had a relationship with my dad in a really long time, and me and him don't talk. But like, you'd think in a situation like this, he would lose the ego or whatever, or show that he cared a little bit, and he didn't even reach out to me before, during, after. Nothing. Haven't heard from him. I guess that just kind of made me feel like I accept that, like I was like, I guess I didn't expect anything different, which is kind of sad. And I just told my sister recently, because we were talking about Christmas, and I was like, I won't be going to see dad. It's my first time home in 2 years, but usually I would always go for breakfast. And I'm like, I'm not going. And she was like, I'm scared to ask. And I was like, he didn't. And she was like, that's what I thought. And I'm sick. Like, and then it's causing, like, my sister's like, I don't even want to talk to him. And I'm just like, we knew this. He's not going to change. And I don't carry any hate in my heart for anybody. So I was like, I don't want you to like act a certain way because of how he treated me, or how our relationship. Like, I'm not angry. Like, was I a little bit like, damn? Yeah, but I'm like, I'm not angry. I'm not angry at anybody anymore. I feel like this has taught me to have so much more empathy. I already have empathy. I'm like, I'm probably the last person who needs. No, I'm kidding. But like, so much empathy, so much gratitude, so much love. If I already wasn't enough of a lover girl, it's like, great. I'm even like tenfold. Tell people you love them. Any chance that you get, if you feel it, tell them, because somebody needs it. Somebody needs to hear it. And like, it's all we like really have. But I've never regretted loving somebody and telling them that. And hearing it from people like really did make a difference. And it's just important. It's so important. And forgive people, because you never know what somebody is going through. You never know what somebody went through. And you, again, you just, nothing's guaranteed in life. Have empathy, give whenever you can. Support one another and be so grateful for everything that you have. We get so used to the things that we have that we don't realize how blessed we truly are. You should never lose sight of that. And I don't want a horrific experience to happen to you for you to remember that. So let my story, my experience be that reminder to you. And no matter what, life, it goes on and it is going to happen. So make the most of it, of every second. I actually listened to a sermon. I went to church on that Sunday, and Rich was talking about how we have 1,440 minutes in the day. And what we do with those minutes matter, and they truly do. Don't live to waste the days. Don't live for events, vacations. Every day can be a special occasion because you are alive, and you should celebrate life every single day. And you should celebrate the people around you every single day. And my cat is staring at me now, like very lovingly. Hi, I love you. But that's really it. I've blabbered on for a very long time, but I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening to my story, and I hope to talk to you very soon. Bye.